Hey, it's James here from GOODGUITARIST.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play Viva La Vida by Coldplay using the two-finger trick. And this lets us take advantage of the most common chord progression ever that you can play literally like 100,000 songs with in a really simple way very early on in your guitar career. It goes like this.
I used to rule the world, seize my rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone, sweep the streets I used to own.
I'm also going to show you a simple way to strum it that'll help you start being expressive with your strumming patterns. And all that is coming up during this lesson. Really quick, if you enjoy learning guitar with me, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. And while you're down there, you'll notice I have a free ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. Either way, we're going to start off with our chord shapes. Now, all these chord shapes have one thing in common, and that is this. We're going to put our pinky on the 3rd fret of the thinnest string and our ring finger just above it on the 3rd fret of the B string. And they're going to stay put for every chord shape. Now, our first chord, we're going to have to put our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. That's the 2nd thickest string. Then our index on the next string on the 2nd fret of the D string. And it might sound like this and be missing some notes. If that's the case, get your thumb a little bit lower, get your knuckles forward. See, when my knuckles are behind the guitar, it's hard to reach, but when they're in front of the fretboard, it's a little easier to reach. However, now my wrist starts bending, and that's no good, right? So to solve that, we take the neck up a little bit, and that gives us a much better angle. You can just use your strumming arm to put more pressure on the bell of the guitar, and that should help you out a little bit. You can always get a footstool, and you got to find what works for you so that guitar feels comfortable, right? Anyways, we have that easy C chord, and then we're just going to remove our middle finger and move our index finger down to the G string, also at the 2nd fret, and that gives us an easy D chord. Then we're going to make almost the same shape that we started out with, except my middle finger is on the thickest string at the 3rd fret. My index is on the 2nd fret of the A string. So it's pretty much the same shape we started with, just our fingers are at the edge of the guitar. And then I'm going to leave my index finger down. I'm only going to move my middle finger so that it's under my index on the 2nd fret of the D string. And that's our 4-chord combo. C, D, G, E minor. And I recommend taking a moment to strum each one, just going 1, switch, 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 D, switch, 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 G, switch, 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 E minor, switch, switch. So I'm strumming on beat 1, and then I have beats 2, 3, and 4 to switch. That's a pretty good amount of time to switch. And we go through this process in my free ebook and in my course, Learn Guitar Once and For All. And it is the best for getting your chords not only cleaner, but also making sure that they line up with the rhythm. So later when we add the strumming, things are all going to work out a lot better. You can also move that on to the next step. You can go 1, 2, switch, switch, 1, 2, switch. So you strum 2 times and you switch on beats 3 and 4. So we're still in rhythm. We're just doing a little more strumming, a little less time for switching, right? And that's the process for really nailing your chord shapes. And once you're good with those shapes, using that method, we can add some strumming to it. Goes like this. And that's a really simple strumming pattern. I'm just playing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So downstrokes on the numbers, upstrokes on the ands. It's important to learn how to count that out so you can kind of turn your body into a rhythm machine going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and downs on the numbers, up on the ands, 3 and 4 and you do that a whole bunch till you're comfortable. And we would do it 1 time per chord shape. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and at this point you might be thinking, it doesn't really sound that great, right? Well, what we can do is we can emphasize beats 2 and 4, and that's gonna really help us be more expressive with our strumming and make it come to life a bit more. It'll sound more like. So what I'm doing there, I'm just going to underline 2 and 4. We'll do it slowly. We'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And. So for everything else, 1 and all the other stuff, I'm just doing small strums. I'm being really gentle. If you hold your pick too tight, it's impossible to be gentle. So you got to be loose, got to be willing to drop your pick and just, accept it. It's going to happen. That's why if you watch somebody playing a gig, they'll have a bunch of picks taped to their microphone stand. It's because they're going to drop it because they have a nice loose grip. It gets you the best sound on guitar. So you get used to doing that like that. And then as you're counting, just say 2 and 4 louder. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you do that on a single chord. And then you expand that to the entire chord progression. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2.
So when I rule forward,
and at this point, you can play through the entire song just like that. One modification you can make if you want to take it to the next level is for that second chord, for D, we can play it like this with our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the thinnest string. So we're taking our pinky off, and that's... Otherwise, the rest of it's all the same. And once you've mastered this simple version, I have the full version, another lesson where I teach it like it is on the recording, and the strumming is much more intricate. The chord shapes are the basic ones that, take a lot more to switch. But I want you to get the idea of playing through a song. That's way more important than using the exact chord and all that, So this is where I want to leave us today. If you want to play through the entire song with me in a simple way, I have that available on my Patreon page. And while you're down there, don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook. I also have a course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, where I'll take you from absolute beginner to confident strummer, step by step, working through. You'll learn all the basic chord shapes, the most useful strumming patterns. You'll be learning songs the entire time. It's about turning you into that person that can just show up and play guitar at the campfire or at Christmas or whenever. So, if you're interested, you can learn more about that down below. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.